So Carley's been with me for a little under a week. He is a very complicated little man. So he is very fearful, as you can see in this video. We're just going for a decompression walk. That's mostly all we've been doing right now. You can see he is like trying as hard as he can to get away from me. He's very externally focused. His tail's very tucked. His body is very stiff. His ears are back. He's definitely not having the bestest of times, but that's totally okay. So my first impression of him, behavior-wise, is yes, he does have some dominance by default issues at home, and I recommend if you are someone that's watching this and you're not really sure what that means, go watch my video on dominance by default. So he's got those issues, but when he's in my house where he does not have, the comfortable factor, he is incredibly fearful. So I think creating some more confidence for him and teaching him that there is, kind of rules to life, and there's good things that can happen if you follow the rules. And if you don't follow the rules, we're going to follow that up with corrections or whatever we need to do to get you on the right track. He currently has not eaten for me, so he does not want to take food. That is totally fine. I have had dogs that did not want to eat for like the first 2 weeks before, so it's not at a point where I'm nervous. He's using the bathroom normally and drinking normally, so I know he's feeling fine health-wise. He's just so anxious right now that he's just not taking food. So the best thing to do with these kinds of dogs, in my opinion, is a little bit of tough love, because a lot of this behavior is created by over babying the dogs. So they're getting too much freedom. We're being kind of too lenient with them. We're making it too big of a deal when they're scared of things. And this is kind of my speculation. Again, I don't know every moment of his life leading up to this moment, but I want him to he's going to go through a little period of, and he's in that now, of holy shit, getting sent through boot camp kind of idea, where you're like, oh my gosh, like my life is absolutely changed at this moment. But once we get through that scary period of, oh my gosh, everything all of a sudden changed and my life isn't the same as it was, he can have a better quality of life, because we're going to make everything make sense to him. So there's not going to be any gray areas of, if you don't want to do this thing, I'm not going to make you do it. If you don't feel like doing this today, you're not going to have to do it. If you want to bite this person, I'm not going to not let you do it, or anything like that. It's going to be very structured, and everything's going to be super easy to follow for him in his life, almost like we're giving him just the instructions to life. It's not going to be like that forever. So with these behavior mod cases, the first couple weeks, especially when they get back home, is going to be incredibly structured. It's going to be very like, everything you do, I'm in control of. But over time, the dog can earn that freedom back. So as they're successful with things, we'll start giving a little bit of freedom back, but we can always take that freedom back away if the dog cannot behave appropriately. And all of this does sound, very not fun for him, and maybe even a little bit borderline mean. But what you have to understand is we have to take the emotions out of the dog and understand this is what's best for this dog's quality of life, because, with him, I don't want to see him, get a serious bite on someone and end up getting, possibly euthanized or anything like that. I want to see him living a life where he's happy and relaxed and able to do dog things without, possibly causing injury to anyone. So even though these periods of time can be stressful for the dog, stressful for the humans and all of that stuff, we do have to think about the dog's ultimate best interest in mind, even if that's something that makes us feel a little bit uncomfortable. And I'm not saying this for the sake of his owner. I think she's pretty understanding of everything. It's just because I post this publicly on YouTube, I want to make sure if some random person on the internet watches it, they understand that dog training can be uncomfortable. Dog trainers, we don't just get sent well-behaved dogs, right? We're sent them because the dog is having a problem. So dealing with those problems is not always the prettiest picture, but we're working on it. So for him right now, the game plan is just trying to get him a little bit more comfortable and taking food. I don't think it's going to be productive for him, for me just to train him compulsively. There's not very many dogs in the world that that's going to be super productive for, especially with these behavior cases. So I'm going to take the time to get him a little bit more comfortable, get him taking food so that I'm able to reward him for the good behaviors, and just kind of let him relax a little bit. And these decompression walks do kind of multiple things. So one, we're raising the dog's hunger by burning some calories, giving him some walks. We're also releasing some dopamine in his brain. Like if you've ever gotten a runner's high, that's your brain releasing like the happy chemicals from movement. So that's helping. And then we're also just kind of taking his mind off things, just letting him go for a walk and be a dog for a minute. And you also, if you're an eagle-eyed viewer, you'll notice my slip leash is on backwards. It doesn't really matter right now because he's not staying to one side or another. He's literally just walking with me on leash. But once we do start like actually training and things, then the slip leash will make sure is on correctly. But for now, he's a little bit sketchy in the kennel with putting the leash on. So it's just kind of getting it on the safest way possible, as quickly as possible, so that nobody's getting hurt or anything like that. But again, you can see he's super nervous. He's panting. You'll notice the tongue is actually behind the teeth. Typically, when we're seeing that and the tongue is not over the teeth and the dog's panting, it's kind of a sign that he's ready to go. He's ready to defend himself if he needs to. And he's not an outwardly aggressive dog or anything like that. He's just, again, very nervous and ready to be defensive. There he kind of came up and stood next to me. I'm ignoring him this entire time because I don't want him to think that he can kind of push the button and get affection or like action out of me. I want to use that affection and action as a reward to him, because again, that dominance by default, he's not going to run the show here anymore. So if he wants to come up and stand by me, he can, but I'm not really going to acknowledge it or do anything with it. I'm just going to ignore him. I'm hoping in the next couple of days he relaxes a little bit more. When we get these cases, it's really hard to be like, oh, I can fix this in X amount of weeks, because honestly, like all you can do is move at the dog's pace. We're not fixing, just bad behaviors or anything like that. We're changing an emotional state of mind in the dog. So it's very important that we go slow and do everything as he needs it done, at a productive pace for him.